Hi there, Dr. Karen here, and I'm so glad you're here today. I'm going to talk about parenting a highly sensitive child today. I think it's a fabulous topic. So this will be a comprehensive guide to nurturing and understanding your highly sensitive child and their gifts and helping them navigate the world with confidence. So first, what is a highly sensitive child? High sensitivity is a neurobiological trait found in about 15 to 20% of the population, characterized by deep processing of sensory information and heightened emotional responsiveness. So if that resonates, you might even have some of that or, notice that in one of your children. I'm highly sensitive and one of my kids is. So it's not a disorder. It's a normal personality trait. It's an innate temperament present from birth. It's equal in boys and girls, although the expression may differ. It's found across species. So it's actually an evolutionary advantage. You could look at it as a superpower, and it's highly perceptive. So there are four pillars to high sensitivity. So first, there's depth of processing. Highly sensitive children think deeply about everything. They take time to process information thoroughly before responding. Second, there's emotional reactivity. So they experience emotions more intensely and are highly empathic to other people's feelings. So they might have big feelings, and then they can also feel your big feelings or other people's feelings. They have sensory sensitivity. So they're more aware of sensory details like sounds, textures, lights, smells, and things that others might notice. And they're more in tune with subtle cues. So they might pick up on nonverbal communication, changes in the environment, other people's moods more easily. And common characteristics, some of the behavioral signs. So they might ask many thoughtful questions, take more time to make decisions. They might prefer quiet, calm environments, and that's a good tip. They might have strong reactions to change. Emotional signs, they're deeply affected by others' emotions. They might cry easily or get overwhelmed. They show great empathy and have intense emotional responses. And then the social signs are they prefer smaller groups, they form deep friendships, they may be shy in new situations. But the beautiful gifts of a highly sensitive child are exceptional empathy. They're natural healers and helpers. Their creative abilities, they have a rich inner world and imagination, deep thinking. They're thoughtful problem solvers. They have strong intuition. They're excellent at reading situations. They're conscientious in nature, so they're very careful and considerate. They have an appreciation for beauty, like art, music, nature. They have loyal friendships. They form deep, meaningful connections. And they have a high moral compass, a really strong sense of right and wrong. Now, some of the common challenges are overstimulation. They can feel overwhelmed by, a really busy environment, too much noise, too much activity. When they can feel really overwhelmed, and then they might shut down and have meltdowns when they're at capacity. As far as school struggles, the traditional classroom environment can be too much, too stimulating or too fast-paced. And social difficulties, they might struggle with large groups or competitive situations. So some of the tips or the strategies are, for the physical environment, create quiet spaces for retreat, like a nice workspace, a space where they can go read or curl up, a nook or, their room, like not too much stimulation, quiet and calming colors. Use soft lighting when possible. Minimize clutter and chaos, and provide comfortable, cozy textures, blankets and pillows. Another tip is providing good routine and structure. Maintain predictable schedules and always allow extra transition time. Prepare for changes in advance and build downtime in daily. In terms of emotional support, you want to validate their feelings, teach them emotional regulation skills, like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, guided meditation, just any grounding techniques, where you think, okay, my feet are on the ground, I'm noticing things in my environment. Model calm responses, model your own regulation, and celebrate their successes. So here are a few practical parenting strategies. You want to go slow with new experiences. Allow time to observe before participating. Respect their processing time, so don't rush them, like don't rush decisions or responses. Use gentle discipline. They respond better to guidance than punishment. Prepare for transitions, so give warnings before changes in activity. Teach self-advocacy, so you want to teach them to communicate their needs. Honor their limits, recognize when they need breaks, and focus on their strengths, so build confidence through their natural abilities. Here are some school strategies. You want to communicate with their teachers. You may need to educate teachers about high sensitivity, share your child's specific needs, request accommodations when needed, and maintain regular check-ins and open lines of communication with teachers and school staff. In terms of classroom strategies, you might want to seat them away from high traffic areas, quieter place. Provide movement breaks, maybe get up and stretch. Allow for extra processing time and create quiet spaces for retreat. In terms of home support, you want to plan quiet time after school, help them with homework organization, and have a place that's designed for homework and study or reading, a quiet, calm place. Practice social situations and validate their social experiences. Now, highly sensitive children have a natural emotional intelligence, but you want to help them. It would be fun to help them develop those skills further. So help them to name emotions, build their emotional vocabulary. I have a worksheet, the 8 emotions that's available, and it goes through all the sensations. You can print that out. It's really cute, like comic book style. Teach coping strategies for regulation, like the deep breathing, the mindfulness, and movement. Practice empathy boundaries, help them distinguish between their feelings and others. Because they're so sensitive and intuitive and compassionate, they might get confused. You're like reading the room and, okay, that's not mine, that's yours. I have a young therapist that I've worked with. I love what she says. So you put your white t-shirt is in the laundry with someone's red sock, and then your white t-shirt turns pink, but you don't have to take that on. You don't have to take on the red. Like that's not yours. Develop self-soothing skills. What calms you down? I don't know if you've seen the Inside Out 2, the anxiety was one of the new emotions. And then I loved at the end, she had this chair and her tea and all the relaxing, candle, all the things. So help them develop their own self-soothing strategies. Celebrate emotional sensitivity and awareness. So you want to frame sensitivity as a superpower and model emotional regulation. Show them how you manage your feelings. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about self-care for highly sensitive parents or parents of highly sensitive children. So parenting a highly sensitive child can be intense, and taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's absolutely essential. So recognize your own sensitivity. It's likely that you might be highly sensitive too. Set realistic expectations. Progress might be slower than you want. Find your own support network. Connect with other parents. I have a great parenting community, so I'd love to have you join us. Practice patience with your child and yourself. Celebrate small wins. Acknowledge every step forward, and take breaks when you need. You can't pour from an empty cup. And when to seek professional support, beyond community, like extreme school avoidance, extreme social withdrawal, persistence, anxiety, and depression, and any self-harm. And some of the options are, there are highly sensitive children, informed therapists. It's like a trauma-informed therapist, but for highly sensitive children. School counselors, parent support groups, education advocates. So I can definitely help with my community. And remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness, not failure. And then just a little bit about celebrating your highly sensitive child. They're not broken, they're not too much. They're beautifully designed to help, bring deep empathy into the world and wisdom. So reframe their traits, like picky is discerning, honor their pace, slow and steady wins the race. Appreciate their depth. They see things, they see beauty that others might miss. They're more compassionate, value their empathy, and trust the process. So just a few more tips on your journey together with your child. Be patient with your child and yourself. Stay curious. Keep learning about high sensitivity. And I think that's probably the reason I went into psychology, like curious. I've always been so curious about people. Trust the process. Your child's sensitivity is their gift to the world. Celebrate uniqueness. Different doesn't mean deficient. Remember, you're the perfect parent for your child. So let me know what questions you have about parenting a highly sensitive child. You can jump in and join my community, my Dr. Karen community. I have ongoing parenting groups and courses that you're welcome to jump into. I have a summer checklist, like a summer, parenting boot camp, strategy session, which is still available. I'm so glad you're here. I'd love to connect with you. Let me know how I can help. Thank you.